Of all the subjects that we teach, I believe mathematics is one of the subjects that should not be forced on people based on grade level or age. What do I mean? Welcome everybody, my name is Amos Tarfa, and today I will be talking about principles for mastering mathematics. The first principle we're going to talk about, of course, is understanding what mathematics even is. Before I give you my definition, I'm going to quote from Leonard Euler, Elements of Algebra, his definition of mathematics. He says, whatever is capable of increase or diminution is called magnitude or quantity. A sum of money, therefore, is a quantity, since we may increase it or diminish it. It is the same with weight and other things of this nature. From this definition, it is evident that the different kinds of magnitude must be so various as to render it difficult to enumerate them. So it must be difficult to enumerate them. And this is the origin of the different branches of the mathematics, each being employed on a different or particular kind of magnitude. Mathematics in general is the science of quantity, or the science which investigates the means of measuring quantity. My friends, Leonard Euler, if you do not know him, please make time to learn about Leonard Euler. Why do I think that's important? Because Leonard Euler, who was responsible for many things that we talk about in mathematics today, we can learn a lot of things from his life. And one of them is actually how to handle adversity. We see, while Leonard Euler lived, he actually became blind in one eye and then eventually got blind. But even as a blind mathematician, even when he was blind in one eye and so on, Leonard Euler was writing papers, over 30 papers a year in mathematics. He was a prolific author in mathematics, and he now takes time to define mathematics for us. So why do I think that mathematics should not be forced as a grade-based course? Because I have worked with students who are in 11th grade who don't like fractions. And I have worked with students who are in 5th grade who want to do calculus. So here's what I said. Here are the topics you need to know. If you master every single one of these topics, great. What are we waiting for? Let's move on to the next one. So two things we want to keep in mind as we look at this math program that we've put together for algebra, geometry, algebra 2, and so on. Or this math program that we're working on to complete. We are making sure that we encourage students to recognize that we will not limit your ability simply because of your age. We will give you all that you need to succeed. If you are 10 years old and you want to do math year-round, which is a strong recommendation, my friends, and let me pause and say this. One of the difficulties in American math education is kids getting 3 months off without needing to do regular practice. Am I saying people don't need to rest? No, but here's the catch. If you don't take a break between certain math courses, then you won't have to do some other courses, for example. Let's talk about a practical example. If I do Algebra 1 through a school year, and I don't take a break in the summer, and I just continue doing algebra, which we should do because algebra is just like playing basketball. It's something where if I don't shoot my free throws all summer, guess what's going to happen? I'm going to be rusty. The coach wouldn't want me on the team. So I need to keep practicing if I find value. Now, I understand some people are worried about how does this apply to my life. Okay, we'll get to that. I promise. We'll talk about some of the applications. And if there's no application, I'll be honest and tell you this is just for fun. And it's just beautiful. And it just stretches your mind and helps you think better. Okay, a lot of math topics in some pure mathematics and algebra, some of the topics we cannot give you a practical application for your life today. But there are some practical applications that might be available beyond the scope of the course. And there are some times where we haven't found a practical application, but it will come someday. So what I'm saying is, if you can just give math a chance and say, math matters and I'm going to give it my best. If you can say that, then what I would recommend is not taking time off, 3 months off from a skill that requires practice. My friends, if we remove that requirement and let kids have time to play in the summer, I get it, but dedicate about 40 minutes or 30 minutes a day during the weekdays. You will go very far in mathematics if you reduce the breaks that you take from it, because math requires that kind of thinking. So the skill for today is to remember, number one, do not limit a child simply because of his age. Give him the tools he needs to move on to the next level, and keep giving him the tools. Now, why do we teach math on grade-based levels? for one reason, it's probably very practical for many schools. But if you think about Isaac Newton, if you think about Leonard Euler, if you think about some of the great mathematicians, even Katherine Johnson, probably from Hidden Figures, if we look at her math, I haven't read her biography, but if you look at her story, I'm sure that these people, all of them, made time to apply themselves to learning math continuously, rather than taking large chunks of breaks, like 3 months. So let us give children the tools they need. When Isaac Newton was working on certain problems back in the 1600s, about 1665, by the way, they also had a pandemic back then, and Newton had to go back home, and he worked hard on a lot of things that he was a student at Cambridge. He was at Cambridge, sorry, but we went back and he was working on these principles. Some of them we see and talk about in calculus. He kept moving forward and coming up with what he needed to move to the next step. So what happens is, if I know how to add fractions, for example, then I should be given a chance to look at, well, first I need to know my fractions, decimals, and percent. But then if I'm ready to go beyond that, then I should be able to look at ratios and proportions. And if the school year ended in June and I'm still ready, I need to keep moving. So then by the fall, guess what? Maybe I'm ready for Algebra 1. And I work through Algebra 1, and the summer comes around, I'm done with Algebra 1. Well, why don't I begin to review Algebra 2 in the summer? It's a great opportunity to invest time to keep moving forward rather than staying where you are because you're a certain age. Mathematics does not respect age. Mathematics cares about mastery. Do you know what you need to know? If you do, move on. Move on. That's the way math works. And if you don't know what you need to do, this is the other part that I'll wrap up with, then you get in trouble. Because if we keep moving you on and you get to 9th grade, but you still don't know how to add fractions, you will be very frustrated with mathematics. And that's why I think I want to encourage everyone to give math a chance. Give it a chance, understanding its nature. Because if you understand the nature of mathematics, then you can apply yourself to excellence in mathematics by moving on from mastery to mastery. And that's where we come in, my friends. We want our students to master mathematics, no matter what course it is, because math is gettable. We'll pick it up from there next time. Thank you for your time.